Episode 85. What is royalty-free music, and what are some of my favorite sites for finding music online that you can use in your podcast and video content? Well, you are listening to episode number 85 of Mike Murphy Unplugged. Learn, create, move forward. I am your host, Mike Murphy. I'm a one-man band. I'm a technology junkie. I love helping people figure things out, and I am really excited to be here with you today. The goal of Mike Murphy Unplugged, it's to help you learn what you need to know in order to create online content so you can move forward in business and in life. Today's episode 85 is an introduction to using music for your online content creation. That could be podcasting or video. I'll touch on some key legal terms along with tips and insights, but for the most part, today is going to be one big list of music resources for you to explore when looking for that perfect song for your intro or outro of your podcast or your tutorials or promo videos. I am often asked, where are the best places online to get music for podcasts or videos? So today I'm going to give you my go-to sites for getting high quality and low cost or free music to use. All links mentioned today and several more will be in the show notes at mikemurphy.co/EP85. So let's get into today's episode number 85 and start off with some legal basics of music licensing and the token disclaimer. I am not an attorney, but I do want to simplify some popular legal terms that you are going to encounter as an online content creator. And these are concepts that often tend to confuse a lot of people, including myself. Those are copyright, public domain, royalty-free, Creative Commons, and fair use. So here are the surface level definitions. Copyright. Copyright is a legal right given to creators that varies by country, but in the US, copyright protects the original creator of music or photos, arts, books, etc., and ensures that they have a right to be paid or compensated for their work. So if you write the song or you click the camera shutter button, you are the copyright owner, and your work is immediately protected by US law. Just like any other law, if someone breaks the law, let's say by using your photos or song in their video without permission or compensating you, it is considered copyright infringement, and this can be a very expensive penalty. Do not mess with copyrights is all I can say. It's definitely not worth it. Now, public domain is when the intellectual property rights or the copyrights have expired or they are simply really old. You'll find a lot of old books and songs in the public domain, and they are free to use for anyone. Here's some public domain trivia. Currently, copyrights for music produced after 1978. So if the song was written after 1978, that song will be copyrighted for the life of the creator, so until they die, plus an additional 70 years before that song can enter into public domain. So that's a pretty good amount of time. Okay, if you're into the old stuff or you want to check out some of the public domain stuff, check out freemusicarchive.org. This is a gigantic source of free music. They also have a pretty big library of public domain music. I rarely go to this site because it's way too massive, but it is full of free music and it is good for your creator toolbox. freemusicarchive.org. Okay, so now on to the two terms that often get mixed up, but the ones that you're going to encounter the most when shopping for music online. First is royalty-free, the second is Creative Commons. So royalty-free. This does not mean free of charge. Royalty-free means that you have permission to use copyrighted material with unlimited usage rights, meaning you don't have to pay future royalties, and you can use however many projects you want, so you're not limited. So when you pay for a song from a site that offers royalty-free music, you only pay one time, and that is it. So the next term that confuses a lot of people, and you're going to run into this all the time, is Creative Commons. Music under Creative Commons license is free to use, but the copyright owner can set certain terms and require you to provide attribution, which is just a fancy word for credit. And in most cases, you just need to provide a link back to the artist's website. You can use my music for free, but you need to include this text or link in the description whenever you use it, so I get credit. That's fair. And finally, a term that is often in the gray area in podcasting, and one that I will tell you to remove from your vocabulary because you are only asking for trouble in most cases, and that is fair use. Fair use is basically an exception to copyright law, or you are granted temporary permission to use music or art in certain circumstances such as covering the news or in a journalistic situation. I've seen many podcast discussions online and social media trying to justify their use of short clips of music or of copyrighted material as fair use because of the nature of their podcast. And my advice is really don't go there unless your lawyer signs off on it. Okay, now for my 2 cents. Never use a song or video or photo that you do not own the rights to. Period. Just because you found it on Google Images or on SoundCloud and there's a download button does not mean that you can use it legally. Read the FAQs from every song you buy or download for free and make sure that you can use it in your podcast or video for commercial projects that you will get paid for. And take the Creative Commons attribution seriously. You need to put the links in anytime you use it. Google and YouTube algorithms for sniffing out copyright violations, they're pretty good. So just because you might have a small audience or you only use a little bit of that song, it's not going to get you out of a copyright infringement. So really be careful. Pro tip. When you get a song that requires attribution from the Creative Commons, create a text document and save it with the song file wherever you save that and put them in the same folder. So when you see both files, you know that you need to copy and paste that link. So a quick little summary of the legal terms before we go on to the sites. Copyright. It's complex. They are not the same in every country, but it's basically a legal right protecting the original creator for the life of the creation and more, and then it goes into public domain. Royalty-free music is not free. It's still copyrighted music, but you can purchase a one-time standard, or sometimes extended, which means expensive, that grants you permission to use it in all of your personal or commercial projects without paying royalties in the future. Royalty-free. Music that's under the Creative Commons license is when the copyright owner says that I give permission for anyone to use my music for free so long as they follow my terms of attribution or giving credit when credit is due. So are we all good on the legal stuff? Let's get into the fun stuff and go find some free and inexpensive music for your podcasts or videos. So I'm not going to go into full detail about each site, but I'll point out some highlights or some of my favorite features as we go. So here we go. I'm going to start with the premium or the paid sites that I think are great. Then we'll go to the freebie sites that I use all the time. But first, a pre-resource tip. Whenever you have the option, I suggest downloading the WAV file, the .wav, instead of the MP3 file, as the WAV is a much higher quality file, and you can always export it as an MP3 file later. Okay, so let's go. Number 1, Audio Jungle. This is part of the Envato family. This is a suite of sites that you can buy templates and graphics and fonts and lower thirds for videos and so much more. For $20, you can get great music for your podcast or videos. And while I am not the biggest fan of the website for browsing songs, it is a great resource for music and a whole lot more. That's Audio Jungle from Envato. Longtime favorite. Premium Beat. I love so much about Premium Beat. Their branding and their tutorials on After Effects and video editing, they are awesome. Their royalty-free music selection is top-notch, but it's $50 a pop. So it's a little bit out of my everyday budget, but it would be my first stop for an important promo or client video, as $50 is pretty much nothing for a really good premium track for your videos. It's just not practical for my current use, but keep Premium Beat on your list, even if you just want to learn video. An excellent resource. Next, audioblocks.com. I think this site is absolutely amazing. It's $99 a year. You can download unlimited audio anytime, as much as you want. They have a brother site called videoblocks.com, which is also awesome. You can get unlimited video clips, After Effects templates, and so much more. Both are a great deal at $99 a year. Next on the list is a very popular site, Pond5. This is an excellent resource for content creators. It is about $40 a track for the music. Their site is really awesome. You can get whatever you want, including videos, photos, motion graphics, very similar to Envato. Pond5 is not one that I use much because I don't have the budget for it. Pond5 is definitely a good one for your resource list. So the next resource I want to share with you is called Epidemic Sound. This has become really popular lately. I'm currently doing a 30-day free trial, which you can do as well. What's interesting about Epidemic, it's $15 a month, and they have what's called a YouTube subscription. So the music is intended to be used for YouTube, and you do have permission to use it on Facebook and other embed stuff, but it is meant to be online only. So that's something to consider. Epidemic Sound is definitely geared towards vloggers and YouTubers, but I am really impressed by the music. It's cool, it's fresh, the site is really easy to find exactly what you're looking for. I have plans to do more vlog style videos, so I'm really loving Epidemic and this style of music. Definitely go check it out. 30-day free trial, you can't go wrong. See if it's right for you. And the next site that's really got my attention, I haven't used it yet, but I'm really curious about it. It's called Artlist. This is a very new source that I just learned about from the guys over at Film Riot. It's $199 a year, which might sound like a lot, but it's set up like audio blocks in that you can download unlimited royalty-free music for personal, commercial use forever, and the quality in the selection is almost too good to be true. They make it super easy to find the perfect song. They have filters for video themes. You can select stuff like time lapses, slow motion, vlogging. They make suggestions. Artlist. Check it out if you are serious about video and vlogging. Okay, now on to reality, as free is in my budget now, and while you definitely do get what you pay for in terms of quality of music tracks, there are some really great free websites out there to get music, and most all fall under the Creative Commons license, which if you recall, allows you to use the song so long as you give the creator credit. Before we talk about the free tunes, let's talk about free sound effects. Layering audio with ambient sound effects is a really good technique, such as adding coffee shop noise or birds or waves into your video. It just brings the viewer into the scene. Or maybe you just need some fun sound effects for effect for your podcast. If you are an Adobe Audition user, you have access to thousands of free sound effects, all available in one easy download. Or you can go to freesound.org and find any sound effect you need, all for free. You should be covered with free sound effects for quite some time. Now, on to the best sites for free music. The first place I'm going to send you is YouTube. YouTube has a massive free library of music that I use all the time. It's built right in the back end of your YouTube channel. A lot of the tracks do require you to copy and paste attribution in the text of your videos, but there is some great music and the price is right. You can download them right to your computer. The next is Incompetech. This has been around for a long time. It's got a lot of free and quirky music. It's made by one guy, Kevin MacLeod. I use it all the time. Next is bensound.com. This has a limited selection of free stuff and some paid stuff, but I have a lot of tracks from here. I really like Bensound. Next, Purple Planet. This is a fairly new one for me. The website's outdated, but there's some great free options on Purple Planet. And I'll end with a site on YouTube that I don't use a lot, but it's extremely popular, and you can definitely find a lot of music, especially if you're into gaming or into vlogging, and that is No Copyright Sounds. And while there are tons more free options out there, I think this is a great place to wrap up. You should have plenty of websites to find great music at very reasonable costs or free, and you now know a little bit about the legal stuff. So just do your due diligence, read the FAQs, and look for reputable sites, and you're going to be fine. So I would say for many of you that are looking for music for your podcast or video, start with the YouTube library. It's totally free. It's on the back end of your YouTube channel, and you can find a lot of great music there. I use it all the time for the background music in my tutorials. Don't forget about the massive free sound effect libraries you have access to in Adobe Audition or freesounds.org. If you are looking for a unique song for your podcast, I'd probably steer you first to Audio Jungle. It's only $20. It's not quite as good as Pond5 or Premium Beat. Audio Jungle is a great place to find music. I kind of think of it like Fiverr for audio. So I'll end today with a couple of good tips. Start to build a music and sound library that you can pull from for all of your video needs. I have one master folder called Audio and Sounds. Inside that, I organize from where I got the files, what websites. So I might have a folder called Premium Beat. That way I kind of know the vibe, I kind of know the quality I'm going to get when I go into that folder. And inside those folders, I organize them by moods or styles, such as acoustic or funk or jazz or whatever the kind of genre is. And then I place the individual tracks along with any text files from the Creative Commons attribution or the credit if required. Having an organized sound library is not easy to do, and I have struggled with it, but it is a really good thing, and you're going to be happy you did it. And on that note, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen to this podcast, and for that, I thank you. And just a reminder, the master list of all these resources that I've mentioned and some bonus sites are going to be at mikemurphy.co/EP85. If you haven't already done so while you're there, sign up for the newsletter, mikemurphy.co/newsletter. You get on my mailing list. and I thank you for joining me today. I hope you join my one-man band, and together we can learn, create, and move forward. Cheers.